Welcome back. We're here on the moon with Bob Kerman and Burful Kerman, and we've just landed this totally overbuilt direct descent vehicle in the twin craters. Burful is concerned about this situation. But we're going to plant a flag now, and I bet you're wondering, why is Jebediah not here? He actually cannot get out of the spacecraft. Having made it all the way to the moon, he cannot safely get out of the spacecraft without the spacecraft falling over. So, unfortunately, he has to stay and hold on to the controls while we do our surface operations. There we go, Squashwash. Twin craters. Jeb was here too. Climb. And look, you can also do this thing. We don't want to remove helmet. Lower visor. See, now he's protected from the sun. But anyway, more importantly, we've got to come over here and get some of our science experiments attended to, because otherwise they're going to get thrown away when we re-enter. So we just got to get in here. Ooh, I guess we don't need to do anything with that. Collect. Collect. Remove data. Conduct material study. Keep. Collect data. Don't show again. Remove data. There we go. That's what I expected to have happen the first time. Take data. And do his arms extend all the way to this side? No. He'll have to kind of squeeze in here. There we go. Take data. And take data. Can he observe the mystery goo? Keep. I don't think you can collect this data. You know what? I could have done this in EVA where it would have been easier. Reset the mystery goo, by the way, because it's not gonna let you do that. All right. So let's quickly get back into the spacecraft before we knock it over. Some of those were duplicates. That's fine. And sure enough, the spacecraft almost falls over as soon as we get in. And then Burful. Alright. Jump. Whoa! Had more power in that jump than I expected. So after exploring the lunar surface for a while, board. Our first visit to the moon couldn't be a long one because our spacecraft wanted to fall down. We collected some surface samples, we planted a flag, and now we're gonna go home. Sound good? Okay. We can do another seismic scan, apparently. Okay, keep experiment. I feel like we've done that already, though. Alright. Let's get our solar panels out. Find where east is. We're already pointed east. And go. Your apoapsis needs to be a little higher. Clear those peaks. Cool. Perfectly serviceable. Can't warp faster below 5 kilometers, so we'll just have to look out the window. There it is. Bye-bye, moon. SAS speed mode. Let's switch it into orbit. Good job, everybody. Okay, can we time accelerate now? Yes, we can. First, we're going to get into orbit, and then we're going to go home. Alright. Now, to return home, we just need to burn here-ish. We're throwing away a lot of spacecraft here for... I don't know. I just feel like we built a very large spacecraft for this purpose, but it's okay. Add an alarm. And let's go. Keep experiment. I wanted to see if we got any more EVA report options, but I don't think we're going to. Oh, there's Kerbin. Look at that. So pretty. It's only a 9-second burn. We got lots of thrust on this thing. Alright, let's make sure our apoapse is what we want. Let's make it about 30. Okay. While we're here, well, let's get into the sunlight. And then I was gonna try recovering maybe a little more of the science. So, Barfel. Don't crash into the solar panels, please. Oh, that's too bright. Can you get to that one? You can restore it, that's fine. But, I was actually hoping you could retrieve it. That's fine. Sure, go ahead and observe the mystery goo, too. Keep experiment. And what about the other one? Restore. And conduct material study. We'll get a little bit of extra science from this. Keep, collect data. This was the one I wanted you to get to. There you go. Collect that. And... let's try getting around. We did some seismic science, but I don't think it was new seismic science. I just want to take it in case it was. Alright, a wonderful EVA. Okay, we had duplicates of that. Alright, that's fine. I just like to see the magnetometer. No, we didn't need that. Okay. Well, here we are. Let's oh, that's wrong button. Let's warp here. Fall away from the moon. Whoop. There's Kerbin. Falling towards Kerbin. Oh, it's so pretty. It's this feels like a postcard. Wow. Okay. Now we're gonna throw away everything that we didn't use. We're gonna watch it burn up. You ready? There we go. There's the magnetometer boom getting caught by the return. I knew that would be pretty. There it goes. It's catching up. Is it going to pass us? I think it is. Oh, if it goes into the distance, it has more mass than us, I suppose. We didn't burn all of our fuel. Alright, I'm going to time accelerate the rest of this. That beautiful trail off in the distance, that's amazing. That's so cool. Okay, well that was fun. I wonder where we are. Rogue chute is deployed. And our other parachutes are deployed. And now we just gotta float down. Any science here? Jebediah, do you feel brave? This is a most precarious situation. I agree. Alright, brace yourselves, you're gonna land on your heads. Gentle splashdown. Drogue chute. Okay, good. Bob, EVA and take a surface sample of this strange substance. It appears to dramatically increase the surface humidity of anything it touches. Alright. Well, we've done it. Let's see how much science we get back from that. Normal recovery. That should be a good old haul. Even though Jab didn't get to get out, I think it was still a success. Yeah, 343 science. Okay. Well, I'm going to decide how to spend this, and then I'll be back. Okay, well that didn't actually go that far. I unlocked advanced construction and specialized construction. We're going to work on that, and that's going to get us the Clampatron docking port, so we can start building space stations. We already had a different docking port, but it's the little one, and it's... I might as well go for the big one. So, let's see what else. Actually, I was skipping ahead, and I learned that the Moho probe is about to do its maneuver, so let's fly that. This is the one that's going inward toward the sun to get to Moho. So it says it's gonna... I need to start my burn in 45 seconds, but I don't even know if my burn is what I want it to be, so... No, it's pretty much what I want it to be. I just don't know which is my entrance and which is my exit. Moho escape. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna pass by on the sun side of the planet. Gonna keep on the sunny side of Moho. And it's just a small correction burn. Okay. Yeah, and we want to drop. Oh, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. We want to increase our periaps. Whoop. Okay, I need more. I need more fine control. This thing is already very low thrust, but I need an extremely low amount of thrust to get this precise from this far away. All right, so there's a 10-kilometer periaps. That should get us within low Moho science. So let's add an alarm for Sphere of Influence. Sphere of Influence, Moho probe. In 51 days, we will be arriving at Moho. And in the meantime, I don't think this is going to give us anything new, no. In the meantime, let's just make sure we're pointed so we get solar panels. And we are. Wonder where Moho is. We should be catching up on it soon. Anyway, let's see what's next. Specialized construction is going to be complete soon. So let's just warp to that. Here's a contract to launch the Minmus space station. I don't know why we're starting with Minmus. The station must include one docking port and support 4 Kerbals. This can be done in one launch or multiple launches. Okay, let's read all the fine print. Needs a docking node and 4 Kerbals. Needs a solar panel. Have one of the following power generators. Solar panels or any of those things. Include a station core from station parts expansion. Include one of the following habitat modules. A hitchhiker storage container or a habitat module from station parts expansion. And include a cupola. The other cupola. Have supplies. And include a mobile processing lab. Orbit time required 2 days. Well... I don't know if I'll do it right now, but I'll absolutely do it at some point. That sounds fun. Alright, we got our first space station construction mission. Now, if it does have a mobile processing lab, we get an extra 300,000 funds. So it would behoove us to include that if we can unlock it in time. But we may need to launch a space station to Minmus just to visit Minmus. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's launch our next probe. Alright, here we go. This one is going to a polar orbit. Let's see if I remember how to do that. instead of turning east from the Kerbal Space Center, we turn northwest. Might have gone a little too west-northwest, though. I don't remember how west I need to go. We'll find out. Went a little too far west, so I'm going to try to correct it. So this is not very efficient, but that's okay. I'm not hugely concerned. We're like going side on to the airstream here. Very not ideal. There we go. It's pretty much north. North enough. Only problem is we're seeing, you know, heating. So this, I haven't said, this new spacecraft is called Sinewave 2, and it's going to map Kerbin with the new mapping equipment that we've unlocked since the last time we mapped Kerbin. We have to make sure we do it in the right order, though. We can deploy the fairing now. There we go. Extend the solar panels. Extend the transmitters, even though we don't need them because we're not at the moon or anything. And there it is. There's our spacecraft. So we need to make sure we get into orbit. So our apoeps is in 50 seconds. So let's just point right along the horizon. And burn. Let's see, what am I doing? Point prograde, let's warp to app. We're going to pass radar polar alt polar hero. I guess we never had a sine wave 1. I usually call my mapping missions sine wave. So I just kind of assumed that I had called the first one sine wave 1, but it was actually radar altimetry. Good enough. Can we do any science? No. We can extend the magnetometer, though, just for aesthetics. And look, there we go. We've got some Aurora Borealis going on. Some of it's sort of working. Okay, let's close that. First, we need to know, we need to do a high-resolution visual survey of Kerbin. All right, so that's what this one does. 70 kilometers is ideal. Visual high. Start scan visual. And how's our battery? Electric charge is fine. What else? Conduct a low-resolution resource survey of Kerbin. Now, I think this is going to have very different... Yeah. Conduct a multispectral scan-set survey of Kerbin. We can do that. Just the question is, can we do that and maintain electric charge? Let's wait until the surface is in daylight and see if it drains power too quickly. So I think if we turn on all of them at once, we won't have enough electric charge. But as long as we don't try to run all experiments simultaneously, we should be okay. Surface is now in daylight. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. Okay, yeah, we're getting plenty of electric charge. So the other one would be this, which is the high altitude, the high altimetry scan. And I don't think anybody's asked us to do that yet. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that until we're asked. That's the plan anyway. Why does it say 0 meters per second? We have fuel left. And then we have lots of fuel left, but whatever. Okay. Let me go back to the Space Center. Here we go. So I've literally been fast forwarding one day, checking the complex. What is this place called? Gene, where are we? Mission Control. I've just been fast forwarding a day, checking Mission Control, fast forwarding a day, and Gene is getting really sick of seeing me. I've been knocking on his door every single morning. We finally got one that makes sense. Launch the Kerbin Space Station. Fantastic. We're gonna do that. That's gonna come next. And we just need a little bit more science first. We need 20 more science, and then we can start working on that. So, to that end, we gotta build ourselves an aircraft. Well, surprise, I built a rover instead, but we'll see that later. This is another sine wave, and this one's going to Minmus. Let's see if I can fly it. It's been a day or two since I was recording, so let's see if I remember what I was doing. So far, so good. Let's pitch over. Alright. And now let's time accelerate. We're going a little off of our vector, but that's okay. I'm okay with going off of our vector. What's your vector, Victor? I still can't get the ascent profile I want. It's fine, we got plenty of delta V in this thing. So, we're gonna go up to 80 kilometers-ish. Maybe I'll go to 85, just to make things a little easier on myself. Good. And warp, warp, warp. deploy solar panels. Let's get to 20 seconds to apo-apps maybe. Let's point that way and power on. And we're approaching our apo-apps. That's okay. So I'm getting excited because it's going to be space station time soon. After this launch, we've got some space station parts, because we've got a contract to build a Kerbin space station and a Minmus space station. So we're going to get started on that very soon. This, then a rover, then a space station. Because we have 3.4 less science than we need to unlock the mobile processing lab for our space station construction. So we need a rover to go out and get a little extra science. And then we'll be ready. Okay, terrible orbit. That's fine. Minmus, set as target. Now we want a polar orbit, pardon me. We want a polar orbit of Minmus, because this here is a give me my maneuver. This spacecraft here is a mapping mission. There we go. Let's point that direction, add a maneuver, and add an alarm, and go to it. Go faster. This is the same probe that we launched in orbit of Kerbin, but we can get both of them going at once at Minmus and at Kerbin, and then one of them could go to the moon. Probably the Kerbin one, if I was to guess. I think it has the delta V we need to transfer out to the moon. We just have to pick the right time of the cycle as the month goes around, as the moon goes around. We'll get a transfer window. Oh, gonna have to switch stages. Alright, let's look at Minmus so that we can see when we're arriving. There we go. Alright, point retrograde. Close enough. So, let's just warp here. I don't see a reason not to warp here. Oops. We need to deploy our antenna. Should be able to do that just fine, though. What happened to my intercept? Oh, unknown object. Oh, the rover is complete. Close. Let's extend this antenna. Extend this antenna. Now we have connection. How soon is this? 1 day, 5 hours. That's fine. Warp here. All right, we're going to want retrograde. And actually, let's point north. Where is Minmus? Is it coming out of the sun again? Why can I never find it? There it is. Yeah, it's coming out of the sun again. All right. Let's point that away. And get a lower pass. And then, is it this direction? Nope, the other way. Let's make sure that we have a 90-degree inclination. $85, $86, $87, $88, $89, $90. There we go. There's a 90.7, good enough. And then get this down. All right. And we'll warp here. And what is the altitude that it wants? 70 kilometers. This one wants 70 kilometers and some of the other ones want higher. So let's burn until we have a 70-kilometer orbit. And then we can transfer into a higher one later. Apoapsis. Counting down from 400, 300. Let's go a little faster. $70, $71, close enough. And burn at Apoaps to circularize. All right, and we start the visual scan. I assume we have a contract for that. Yeah, conduct a high-resolution visual scan set survey of Minmus. We also want a high-resolution altimetry scan. That's this one. Start scan. And we want low-resolution resource and a multispectral. Okay, we can't do all of them at once. We're going to lose battery power. We don't quite have enough. Unless maybe I can get this pointed better. Oh wow, we're exactly equal. So what'll happen is when we go behind Minmus, we'll lose battery and then we won't get it back. So let's see which one is in a non-ideal. This is a suboptimal range. This is also suboptimal. But this one is more suboptimal. And let's see which one has the smaller field of view. let's turn off this one. And then we'll make the battery back. And then we can turn it on when we're done. Extend boom. Run magnetometer report. And transmit. Oh, look, we got science. We didn't need the probe. We didn't need the rover. Look, 57 science back. Fantastic. I should have done science when I was in a low orbit, too. That's okay. We'll get it eventually. All right, well, we can unlock the laboratory then. Fantastic. All right, I'll still do the rover, though, because we're building it, and I'll see you with the rover in a second. Okay, we're here on the runway with Berfel Kerbin, who, as I said, needed to prove himself, so here he is going the extra mile in our first rover. So, we do have a contract to build a rover, so let's actually make sure that this is labeled as a rover, because it is in fact a rover, except and that should get us a contract. Multispectral scansat survey of Kerbin, low resolution research scansat, rover is complete, relay satellite in orbit around Midmus. Okay, good, we did lots of things. Alright, we don't have any SAS, but that's fine. So, here we are in our aircraft cockpit rover. And I love these raster prop monitor, you know, asset cockpits. Okay, so we have a flight plan and a takeoff checklist that we will not be using. Let's fly the way I know how to do it. So I have a destination in mind for Berfel Kerbin here. The first thing we want to do is see if there's any science we can get. Let's leave that open and see if there's any science we can do. But let's establish whether this thing even works. You know what I think I need to do? I think I need to turn off the reaction wheels. No, toggle torque. That's how we do it. Yeah. Now it won't tilt forward when we propel ourselves. And we're going to want electric charge. Seems to be doing just fine. Do we not have rover wheel sounds? I think that's a mod that I haven't installed. Oh well, you'll have to imagine wheel sounds. They go zzzz. That's the first mod that I'm missing, rover wheel sounds. So I'll look into that. Can't believe that you need a mod to have sounds for the wheels, but whatever. Okay, so let's go. We're getting going a little fast here. He says, just because this thing is not particularly well proportioned. This was the way I could figure out how to make a rover, y'all. All right, slow down, and let's take this gently. Okay, we can do a seismic scan. Seismic scan from Kerbin shores. Registers the force of waves hitting the shore. Let's keep that experiment. And let's, where's the brake? Brakes. Set. And now we can get out. We set. We can... Okay, EVA. Take data. Do a surface sample. Keep experiment. Board. So we can't do any more seismic scan landed on the shores. But that doesn't mean that we can't do some important scientific work. I might fast forward through this, though, because like, as fun as this is, there's no sounds. Let me zoom out and see if I even can tell where I'm going. Yeah. It's gonna take a few minutes. So, whoop, there goes the grass. Here comes the grass. Let's see. Well, we've gotten up to 10.7 meters per second. It's pretty fast. What is that, about 30-something miles an hour? So that science was not as important anymore as it was before we got the other science back. I just needed 4 science to get over the threshold to unlock what I wanted to, but we got 50 instead, so it's fine. But we've heard tell of a strange object in the woods out here. And it's time that somebody from the Space Center goes and investigates it. There's a nice forest out here. There's the Space Center. I don't often get to see the Space Center when it's halfway constructed. Plowing through these flowers and grasses. Alright, I can see it off in the distance. Burful thinks he's seen it. There it is. He's gonna approach more slowly now. In this otherwise placid field, there's a strange black object. Da 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 dun dun bum 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 bum. All right, let's come to a stop. Alright, we did our rover contract. Squad. Whatever could it mean, Burful? Oh, this is great. This is a good screenshot. There we go. Okay, Burful. Investigate its surface. Oh, I saw the climb prompt. Hang on. There it is. Climb. No, we can't really climb it, can we? You know, we could take our, remove helmet and, remove neck ring. There we go. We don't have to be, in EVA gear for this. But Burful is confounded. He does a lap of the structure to see if there's anything hidden behind it. Doesn't seem to be. He ponders if he could climb the whole structure. He deployed a parachute by accident. And unsure of what to do next, he poses for a picture. But we have one other thing we can do with this craft. So having investigated the monolith, and no doubt taken various important observations and readings. Grab. Grab. RCS. There we go, board. We're now ready for part 2 of our mission. Let me look at how the closest way to go. That way. Part 2 of our mission is to log seismic data from splashdown in the shores. Since we're here, and we built this whole craft for this purpose. Can I time accelerate without breaking anything? Makes me nervous. Yeah, it makes me nervous. At least in old versions it would have just destroyed itself, so I want to be careful about that. Alright, racing across the landscape. Oh, what a view. What a beach. He comes to the edge of the shoreline and is overtaken with the beauty of the landscape. And then decides to apply the brakes just to make sure he doesn't go careening into the water at unsafe velocities. This should be a safe velocity. Oh, still kind of unsafe velocities here. Here we go. No splash or anything. We've arrived. And Kerbin has determined that the vehicle does in fact float. So, does the seismic accelerometer not work in the water? Seismic scan can't be done right now. Well, look at that. It's like physics actually makes sense. So Kerbin learning a lot on site. And while he's here, he's going to take a surface sample. We've taken a sample of the water here. There are bits of vegetation in it, suggesting a strong likelihood that there is land nearby. What an observation, Burful. This is why we keep you around. Alright, let's see what's next. I think we have a space station launch next. Let's recover. I said let's recover. There we go. Alright, on this beautiful dawn, we're going to launch the first component of our space station. This is the Manticore Station Core. And we're launching into the sunrise. This is so beautiful. Alright, here we go. Z, T, 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at this sunrise light. The light of the sunrise is just gorgeous. We need to be banking over more, though. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on. Keep banking. Come on. And separation. Let's point orbit prograde, because yeesh, I can't get it to bank over at all. I don't know what my problem is. I've been having this problem the entire career. Never had it before. Can't get any of my rockets to tip over. And we're well into the sunrise now. Got the new KW fairings that I unlocked. I excited to use these. They will auto-deploy if I am correct. If not, we will be reloading. Because I have no way to deploy them as far as I know. And we're on the Poodle. And it's going to take some time to get into orbit like this. And there they go. Auto-deployed. And we're going to burn out to 125 kilometers. $125. Okay. What is this? Okay, it's just vessel complete. I wish it didn't tell me that. Okay, I think I can turn that off in the settings. Give me the electric charge. Alright. Let's add a maneuver at Apo. Good. And let's get pointed towards it. Here we go. So I'm going up to 125 kilometers because that's kind of where I always build my space stations, because that's where the time warp limits were at a good level to be able to spend time warping at the space station. Truth is, I don't know if that's still the case. It's just a routine. It also gives us a little bit of room to chase it in the orbit if we're needing to be in a lower orbit than the space station. It gives us the room to do that. So it makes it faster to transfer to. 2, 1. All right, 127 by 124. That's good enough. All right, Manticore Space Station core is in orbit. So we've got a this is a detachable. We can decouple this. So this is just the lifter that brought us up here. Then we've got supply storage. We've got the station core part from the Station Parts expansion mod. The evening habitation module from the same mod, an adapter, and then we've got a little space tug vessel that can move modules around while they're in orbit. Let us deploy the solar panels and the radiator. And let's rotate so that the radiator is facing away from the sun, because that makes more sense. I don't know that we need a radiator, but space stations with radiators look cool, I think. There we go, and we've got Kerbin's light reflecting on the surface in a beautiful fashion. Lovely. All right. Manticore Space Station core in orbit and ready for visitors. I've just realized that the tug is in the way of the next mission. So the next mission to the space station was going to be the Kerbals. But we need to send a docking node to enable everything to dock. All right, well, I'll ponder that and I'll be back. Uh-oh. My station is already complete. Whoops. I thought they were going to give me time to put a cupola and a lab on it for extra money, but lesson learned, they don't wait for you. The station is complete. I got my rewards. So that contract is over now. Let's see what the new contract is. Crew a base or station. Vessel, Manticore Station, incomplete. Vessel, Manticore Station, complete all the following crew, at least one. Well, that's a consolation prize. At least they're going to pay me to crew the space station. I was expecting... Gosh, how do I even read this? Launch the Kerbin space station. It said complete one of the following. All I needed was to have supplies, because I didn't do anything else. I thought it was have a stock cupola or a cupola from station parts. And then also you need to have supplies. And then also optional you could include a mobile processing lab. But I don't fully understand how this was organized, so I got credit for it. I didn't get the extra 123,000 funds. So let's keep that in mind, that when we send the Minmus space station, we want everything to be out there all at once if we want to get that credit, because that's a good amount of money. If it recognizes that we have the lab attached, then we get an extra 309,000. Which is worth doing. But we didn't get to do that for this space station, which means we don't even really have to send up a lab, because I wasn't really sure I was going to use a lab in Kerbin orbit. We might still do it, but it's no longer a rush. Cool. Alright. Any other contracts we should look at while we're here? I ignore these. I feel like I can just do those forever. Yeah, no, that's it. It's come to my attention that the Sinewave 2-1 craft has completed all of its surveys of Kerbin. So we can actually start sending it out on its way to the moon. So let's check in here. Analyze data. Multispectral. Let's read it. Okay. Are we going to get it all? I don't think we're going to get it all. Nope. Oh, we just barely. Woo! Alright, let's time warp until we get our electric charge back. Oh, we can stop the scan, though. That'll help. And from the high-resolution radar altimeter, transmit science. This one's not going to make it. Okay. And we now have done all of our experiments, and Kerbin's ScanSat map. Oop, come back. It's Kerbin's ScanSat map. Here's the visual. Here's the biome map. And here's the altimetry map, which is now high resolution, which is great. Okay. So now we're going to go to the moon. But probably not by the most direct path. So which way are we orbiting? That way. So we could transfer to the moon by going this way, add a maneuver. And we want to... Yep. Just straight out, probably. Set as target. Let's move our maneuver to right on the descending node. And there we go. We do get an encounter. Let's focus on the moon. Okay, not quite sure what's going wrong in between. Can we burn a little earlier or later to change what's going on with our orbit? I'm going to fiddle with this. I'll be back. I'm just going to trust that that's pretty good. Let's get pointed that way. Let's perform the maneuver. And we'll go. Beautiful, beautiful auroras as we fly over Kerbin. And approaching our burn time. Now the moon's out there. Late. Two, one. And burn. Should have plenty of delta V to go to the moon. Not so much to go to the moon and then come back and then circularize like we did last time. That was insane. Just hoping that at the end of this burn we actually have a moon encounter, but I think we can adjust it as needed if not. Two, 1, 0. All right, yeah, we've got a partial moon encounter. So let's time accelerate a bit. Yeah, see, it's on the edge. Add maneuver. Focus on vessel. Delete. What time is our moon encounter? Is in 3 days. Okay. That's fine. We can warp 3 days. Let's add an alarm for our sphere of influence change if we can, though. Add. No. It can't do it. I did it. Because I think we've got a couple of orbits before we actually get it. Is the point? $5 hours. Oh, we got a moho warning coming up. Okay. We're clearly not getting that, so let's add a maneuver here. Focus on the moon. And see if we can't improve our situation. Alright, we're getting a closer approach on the next orbit. The problem is we're having to re-enter Kerbin to do this, so that's not going to work. 9 kilometers. We need it to be not at all in the atmosphere. Kerbin periapsis 77. Do I trust this at all? Yeah, 77. Alright, let's add that alarm. And let's do this maneuver. We're going to drop our periaps around Kerbin just slightly, but not so much that we go into the atmosphere. And that will swing us back around closer to the moon than otherwise. And I'm not doing it precisely, it's fine. There we go. Now it believes me that we're going to have a moon encounter. Now we can add a maneuver here. Maybe we can add a maneuver at periaps. Yeah, we don't want to do 100 and something meters per second burn. That's not what we want to do. Let's zero that out. Delete, delete, delete. 0. Okay. Alright, we do... it's not working. Let's add a maneuver here. A 100 meters per second. Why is it so extreme? What's going on? There we go. There we go. I don't know what the problem was. Okay, that's my new maneuver. All right, let's go to it. All right, Moho warning is coming up. This is making sure I don't forget to switch to the Moho probe. So after this maneuver, we're going to be done. We gotta be at Moho. Full concentration when the Moho probe gets there. Swing around Kerbin. Oop. Two, 1, 0. I think that's close enough. And when periaps at 23 kilometers, we can save that. How soon is that maneuver? 3 hours. This is going to be a time crunch. Capture into 70-kilometer orbit. Apoapsis 70 kilometers. Okay. Add an alarm. Okay, we're getting a little tight with our Moho probe here. I'm gonna make a named quick save. Okay. Thank you, music. All right. Let's warp to the maneuver. Here we come, Moon. I think we're crossing the sphere of influence. Yes. And start burn in 50 seconds. So pretty. I won't say it's stressful, but I am alert. $70. How soon is 22 minutes? We can warp to Apoaps. To circularize. Okay, 69 by 71. That's good. All right, let's make sure we're angled such that we're catching all of the sun's rays. I said, yep. How do I? There we go. All right, and now, what are we supposed to be getting paid to do? High resolution altimetry survey of the moon. Well, that one's this one. Start scan. And what else? High resolution visual. That one won't take so long. Let's start the multispectral. Do we have to do the multispectral? Low resolution resource. And multispectral. Yep. Start scan multispectral. And we should have plenty of electric charge. Yes, we do. Whereas if we activated all three of them, we would be exactly at equilibrium, so that wouldn't quite work. All right. Well, next time we're going to fly by Moho, but I think we have to save that. But thank you very much for joining. We started our space station. We scanned Kerbin and Moon and Minmus, and we had our moon visit, and we had a rover that went to a mysterious monolith in the forest by the Space Center. Maybe that monolith has something to do with those unknown objects we keep spotting out in space near the moons. We'll have to find out. But thank you very much. Bye-bye.